So, it has been a while, but lucky for you guys, I'm back. Spider-Man Far From Home takes place after the events of Avengers Endgame and follows high school student Peter Parker, aka Spider-Man, on a seemingly hero-free school trip to Europe. However, he soon discovers that Spider-Man is needed there too. Warning, this video does contain spoilers for Spider-Man Far From Home. So, as always, the action in this movie was very fun. I thought the stuff with the holograms and the drones, very good idea. It was fun to see Spider-Man swinging by all these famous European landmarks and stuff like that. Very good way to stay away from the very traditional Spider-Man setting of New York City. The third act of this film was so much fun. Got to see Spider-Man doing all the Spider-Man stuff in Europe while fighting the giant monster thing. I thought the way that they decided to explain the blip was very clever and pretty hilarious as well, which was pretty much the theme of this movie as it was packed full of jokes. There were some moments that gave up some credibility for the sake of comedy, and usually that sort of stuff doesn't really bother me, but in this film it was not easy to ignore. However, I still thought the film was very funny, and the plot was pretty predictable. I mean, maybe if you went into the movie having absolutely no idea who the character of Mysterio is, the whole Mysterio plot twist wouldn't be quite as obvious. But when you go in knowing that he's a villain with the ability to create illusions, it's pretty obvious. I think Mysterio is one of the most frustrating of the MCU villains because I love the character. I love the whole idea behind him. It just didn't quite hit home on the character's backstory in this film. Like I said, the Mysterio plot twist was very predictable, but my biggest problem with the character is that he's supposed to be an angry employee of Tony Stark who's mad because he feels he was mistreated and his work was misused, and that's a story we've heard many, many times just in the MCU alone. And on top of that, he's willing to take the lives of many, many people to get revenge. It doesn't quite line up. I love Mysterio as a character. They just needed to clean up his backstory a little bit, and he could have been one of the better villains inside of the MCU. However, I was a huge fan of the way they visualized all of Mysterio's illusions. It looked really good and reminded me in a lot of ways of the way they envisioned the magic in Doctor Strange. Happy Hogan seems like much more interesting character than before. Before, he was just kind of Tony's bodyguard, and this one, he seemed like a more thought-out character with a nice little relationship with Peter. Of course, wonderful performances all around. Tom Holland, Samuel L. Jackson, Jake Gyllenhaal, even Zendaya, all great. So, yeah, this film had a lot of great, creative, interesting ideas, some amazing performances, some very well thought-out action sequences, and it was hilarious. Where this one falls short is in the actual execution of the story. The plot was very predictable, backstory and motivations of our main villain not well thought out at all. Some of the characters' decisions regarding Tony's Edith classes don't make much sense. Overall, this movie never fails to entertain, but has some pretty big story problems. Thank you for watching. Go ahead and subscribe because we all know you want to, and I will see you the next time.